Thought of something hilarious. What if I start the recording without her being here?
That would be hilarious.
Alright, hello. What's up?
I was just touching up the script that we were on just a wee bit.
Nice. I did actually start the recording.
Oh, nice. Good thing I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Just before you say anything.
Yeah.
Anywho, we got the kids. We got the biggest kid of them all, and we have the saddest soul of them all. And this kid looks like they want to say something, so I'll go talk to him.
Yes, what is it?
Notice anything?
That girl. She seems to know what that scruffy detective. Maybe she knows something about him that we don't.
Agreed. However, she seems to be rather uncooperative at the moment.
She's like a stray alley cat. I wonder what would happen if we fed her.
Perhaps I will try feeding her. I wish Edgeworth would try to feed me.
I'm sure you do. Oh dear.
Like, I don't know, one of those bagels that he's really good at making.
He's famous for that.
Yeah. What's the matter, Your Honor?
I claim to hand down fair verdicts, but I unfairly cast suspicion on the big fella. If this had been a trial just now, I would have destroyed his life. I am the guilty one.
We all make mistakes, Your Honor. To err is human, to forgive divine, as they say. Although if you were to make a mistake
if you were to
during...
make a mistake during a trial, then it would be quite unforgivable.
Yeah. It appears that we've caught you red-handed eating a Swiss roll.
Look, I'm sorry about lying to you, pal.
And do you have nothing else to say?
Sure do. It was so fluffy and sweet and big. That was perfection, pal. And totally worth every penny of my bonus.
I see. Well, good for you, detective.
I can't believe it, but it's almost funny when a fool is this unbelievably foolish.
Alright, now let's actually talk to, Kid. Now then, Kay. She is an alley cat.
She's like a stray cat.
I wonder if I should feed her something. My profession.
My hand.
Bullets! Okay, I promise to give you this if you calm down. Honestly, why didn't I... You know, what the fuck am I doing? I should try that.
Don't say... oh, you're just saving an extra state. I see.
Just in case it fucks up somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, how could I not try this? This is too funny. She swatted it back at me.
Oh no! Miles, I demand that you do something to calm her down this instant. Oh, I've got something that'll calm her down.
It'll fucking put her down. Okay, I promise to give you this if you calm down.
Oh, a Swiss roll.
It really belongs to you, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy.
Your daddy is dead. Fuck
Oh,
you.
that's even sadder than Ghost sharing it with her. Oh my.
Your father, he's...
Don't you say another word, pal. She doesn't know yet. Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking about how he's not here anymore. I'm sorry I couldn't protect him.
Okay.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna... Oh, baby. Cry.
It's alright. Let it all out. Your father just passed away after all. I myself was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. That image is just crustier and crustier with every game they show without updating it. All of my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed into fine ash on that nightmarish day. Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. Ever since that instant, I dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. And now, to have this happen right in front of me... This child, I feel a certain shared fate, a common bond between us, that I'll never forget. Who the fuck are you? I'm Kay!
Miles Edgeworth. What sort of gentleman are you? Are you going to just stand there and watch a lady cry?
Ah, you're right. Sorry about that. Takes out the handgun and shoots her.
Yeah. Now she's done crying.
Good. Okay, here how about we use this handkerchief here to dry your little eyes.
Oh.
No! My cravat! Don't blow your nose on that!
I feel better now. Thanks.
How does cravat? Oh dear.
It's the same.
Fucking Johnny Test over here.
Yeah.
Von Karma really is just Johnny Test, isn't she? She doesn't even whip as much as an episode of Johnny Test. Okay. Are you going to be alright?
Yep, I'm already alright.
Somehow I highly doubt that, but I'm not going to push it.
I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers. Oh, it's like Clonad. You're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always keep your promises, right? That's right. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still gonna keep all my promises.
You're a very brave young girl, Kay.
You're a very good child for keeping the promises you made to your papa. I'll even testify that you didn't cry just for you. Thank you very much, lady.
You're a terrible prosecutor. Fuck you.
It's nothing. I'm only telling the truth, after all.
It would appear that because her father was a respected prosecutor, Francisca is sympathetic to Kay's feelings.
That's actually a really cute dynamic.
Kay, what kind of person was your father?
Daddy was a hero of justice. His job was to catch all the bad people in the world.
So to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, huh? I suppose we are in a sense as we are the ones who's guilty for... The fuck... Edward, did you have a stroke? I suppose
No,
we are in a sense as we are the ones who seek...
No. I suppose we are, in a sense.
I suppose we are... Oh, okay, there should be another comma.
Here.
I suppose we are in a sense as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals.
No, it doesn't need a comma. It's
Yeah,
just
I
the
guess.
emphasis.
Yeah, I see.
Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolute favorite treat, Swiss rolls.
No.
I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like Daddy. So I've been working really hard.
I see. And what have you been working hard on?
Thievery! I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together.
Promise book, Rick. It's so sweet. A promise notebook. May I take a look inside, Kay?
Sure, okay.
It appears to be an exchange diary of sorts between father and daughter. Mr. Faraday's writing conveys a sense of the kind of man he was, so a notebook just might come in handy later. Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. Now I'm going to look at it in front of you.
Never take things from a stranger. Never go anywhere with a stranger.
It's a lot
Always
of
greet
stranger
people
danger.
With a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand.
Jaden just messaged, I want that 4 hours extra. He better not have sent something. Did you read the last one?
Yeah, I did. Daddy's job is to make sure that everyone follows the rules. Okay? Be a good girl and promise you'll keep your promises to me, okay? That's sweet.
Love your daddy. Alright, let's see. He didn't. He didn't. Okay.
It is a fake note.
It is a picture of Clown Adachi. You're actually gonna lose fucking 4 hours for that one. I hope you continue to work hard and become a hero, just like your father.
I'm gonna try. Hey, Kay, so I'm a detective that catches the bad people, right? That makes me a hero, too. Yeah, you're really cool, too, Gummy.
That's the first time anyone's ever called Gumshoe cool.
Yeah,
it's
aren't
not
I,
actually,
Kay? This'll make his totally happening death in the second game very sad.
but what is with the two of them?
I hand down verdicts of justice, so that makes me a hero, too!
And if you say no, I'll whack you with my hammer!
And if you say, and if you told Edgeworth he wasn't a hero, he would have shot you with his gun. Yes, and thanks to your blah 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 testimony, you almost painted that detective as a vile criminal and sent him off to jail. I'm really sorry about that. Gubby's not a bad man, okay?
That poor judge. He's been treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. It appears that you and Detective Gumshoe are friends, Kay.
Yeah, we're friends.
In that case, would you mind telling me a little bit more about him? Dick.
Don't.
So I take it that you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier. Thank God everyone refers to him as Gumshoe, not as Dick.
Yeah. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. Can you imagine if she...
I saw Dickie standing.
Let's...
Jesus Christ.
He was standing in the hallway staring really hard at the vending machine, so I said hi.
And when was this?
Huh? Oh, before everything got crazy.
How long were the two of you together?
We only talked for a little while, and then we went on our own ways. That's right, pal. Kay and I only talked for a little while, and that's it.
Oh, which means we have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess, isn't that right?
You got me. I told you stop picking on Gummy, mister.
Very well then. I'll just have to speak with the good detective in private later.
Swiss rolls. Okay, well.
I just didn't want her jumping at me.
Yeah, of course.
Were you the one who bought this pack of Swiss rolls?
Well, I didn't really have a lot of money, and I somehow made $1 out of all the pennies and quarters I had. But that still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one.
Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. And that's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct?
Yeah, thanks a bunch for doing that, mister.
Sure. Well, let me ask you, even with that $1, you still didn't have enough, correct?
Well, that's why. Hey, if you bully Kay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal. Need I remind you that you're the one already under arrest? Ow.
I sense that Kay is going to be less than forthcoming with this question.
Sorry about your ruffly thing.
Yes, well, now that it's positively drenched in your nasal mucus. Don't worry, Kay, I have a spare. So you're gonna have this one.
Daddy said, never take things from a stranger.
Ah, it's one of your promises you made in your promise notebook, correct?
Yeah, look, see, it's right here on this page.
Alright then, I'm not giving this to you. I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home, wash it nice and clean, and then give it back to me the next time we meet. Oh, and she did.
Wait, did she?
Yeah, that's how she got the whole flashback thing together, remember?
No.
At-
Oh, wait, yeah, I think so, actually.
Yeah, at the very tail end, she's like, remember this, Edgeworth?
Okay, Daddy never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers.
I love loopholes. Now then, Detective Gumshoe.
Uh-oh.
I believe it is now crystal clear that you were with little Kay in that hallway.
I told you stop being mean to Gummy. Miles Edgeworth, there's still something you have yet to resolve.
Wait, hold up.
What? I mean, what?
She has a hold it line, right? In the games?
I don't think so.
Weird. So they recorded her objection line, kept it the same for her as a child, but then they couldn't record a hold it line.
Yeah, that's right.
I beg your pardon?
You still haven't offered an explanation for why that man would lie to us.
That's, well...
Gummy, don't tell me you lied for my sake. Hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay. Get it, like your name?
Ah, so that's why.
So what was Detective Gumshoe's motive for lying? If you can't explain that, then you can't call this a perfect investigation.
His real reason for lying is very simple.
What?
Here's what I believe to be his reason. Kay murdered her father.
Oh,
Darn
there,
it,
boys.
you got me.
From simple observation of the detective's actions and his interactions with Kay, it's obvious the detective was lying for the young girl's sake. And this piece of evidence will show you exactly why.
Oh, he took because she took the money from him or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not evidence. But the notebook wouldn't be evidence of that. It would be.
Also, there's the balloon piece.
I love like literally had no money on him.
Well, that's how he described it.
Oh, it's on page 1. I mean, maybe it is just the promise notebook, but I feel like you... No, I guess it is just the notebook. I don't know how else you prove it.
I mean, why the promise notebook?
Because she took something from him, a stranger.
But Gummy is a friend, so he's not a stranger.
Well, he's a friend now, but I think that's the point, right?
I think Gumshoe's like, I'll be your friend, and then you can take my money. Okay. So
Well, I don't think he knew
promise
about the
notebook.
I think that's what they're going for, because what else would it be? Mr. Faraday, in Kay's promise notebook, how does this explain anything?
If you take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay.
What a foolishly foolish fool's fool of a foolish reason for a fool! Yeah. Gummy, you lied because of me, didn't you? Because I'm your friend, Kay, that's why. Gummy!
Long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now?
This theme is good. Guess
Yeah.
there's no being you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll spill the goods. I had been standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry, and that snack vending machine was taunting me. But all the cash you had on you was $5, and that wasn't enough to buy anything, right? After all, the cheapest item in that machine is a $6 pack of Swiss rolls.
I kind of want a Swiss roll now.
Yeah, but then like an angel from heaven, Kay showed up. Kicked me. Oh. I was thinking about sharing a snack with Daddy, so I wanted to buy a Swiss roll, but I only had about $1 in coins. So we pooled my $5 and her $1 together, and bought a pack of Swiss rolls together. But I was worried about breaking one of my promises. So then Gummy said, Mr. Faraday's one scary guy when he gets mad. But don't worry, you won't get in trouble if I don't tell, right? Besides, you bought it with me. So you didn't really get it from me, you know? He told me it'd be okay, and he gave me a whole roll to save and give to Daddy. Who knew that Scruffy could be so considerate?
Indeed. Is this Gumshoe's theme? Oh, wait.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No. Is it?
It's a remix of Gumshoe's theme.
Oh, it is. You're right.
Detective, I take it that you sat down on the bench and ate the rolls together?
Yeah, we split the other roll and ate it right then. The sweet taste of that cake's chocolate. I'll never forget it as long as I live, pal.
Anyway, okay, I believe this also belongs to you. This is the great
that's
Gumshoe
from the balloon
rival.
I popped. Good one. It's bad manners to leave garbage lying around, Kay. I'm sorry.
Did you like where I added the great revival into the script at one point?
Yeah, that was good. You know, I'm gonna find like a place to actually use that in like my campaign again, because I did use it once in chapter 6. I'm gonna find another place like where it really fits, and then you won't take the scene seriously.
Absolutely, it's fucking great revival. You can't take it seriously anymore.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Well, I guess I can't blame you for not throwing this one piece away. It was sitting high up on a windowsill where you couldn't see it. So just this once, I forgive you. That balloon, I wanted to surprise Gummy a little, so I popped it on purpose. And because of me, Gummy dropped his half of the Swiss roll. Oh, cute. Wow, you really got me there, pal.
You know who she reminds me of?
Who's that?
She looks a little bit like the one character you travel with in Gen 6 Pokemon. Wears pink, short shorts.
Oh, Shauna.
Shauna. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit.
Just a little bit.
So I thought maybe I should give Gummy this other roll. Then I saw you picking on Gummy, mister.
So you kicked me, is that it?
You sure are a feisty one. I'm really sorry, mister.
Little girls aren't supposed to hit other men. Fucking takes the whip out and just starts whipping Edgeworth with it.
Yeah.
Get a whip! Do this instead. Don't touch them. It's alright, I'm perfectly unharmed. But about the Swiss roll, would it be alright with you if I held on to it until Detective Gumshoe is cleared of all charges and free to go?
Yeah, sure. Just make sure you give it to Gummy afterwards, okay?
Of course, I promise. Now then, I believe we have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway for the entire duration of his duty, which undeniably proves that Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders.
Whoa.
Jackson.
Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown that Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime.
Oh, what do you mean? Just fucking elbowed Kay.
Ow! I am resting my whip on the defense
God, her
or the
theme is
witness
so good.
stand. It's quite rude to eavesdrop, Miss you. I'm getting a collection on manners. Like a girl with a penchant for whipping people. What? How dare you talk back with such insolence? You're wrong, lady. Gummy's not the bad guy. Oh, and what have we here? What is a child doing here in the courthouse? Wait, that's Francis's voice. Bailiff! Please take this child in.
Oh, Miss Callisto, you. That girl is Mr. Faraday's.
I know, so what? You think that just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to just run wild all around the crime scene? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her, to speak nothing of getting underfoot.
I suppose you're right, however.
As long as we're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then, Detective, you were in front of the door to lobby number 2 the entire time, correct? Yeah, but... You see, isn't it obvious that it could only be the detective? He is the only person who could have gone into lobby number 2 at the time of the murders.
Ah, I have no counter-argument to that.
Don't worry, I've already put in the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest.
But the investigation is far from over.
Oh, that's right. I was going to speak with you about that. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out in the open without a guard?
I suppose it is.
Well, if someone with more experience in law than you, allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret what comes of your negligence.
Gumshoe just whacks her in the back of the head. Got you.
Oh, Miles, I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. This is unforgivable as a disciple of Von Karma.
I'm resting my whip again.
Down, Tigress. Now then, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation. I'm just gonna leave the suspect there, like I just said was a bad idea.
Yeah, that's right.
So, we're back to square one.
Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all the circumstantial evidence.
What if, like, he did it?
This investigation is not over yet. There's still one location we have yet to inspect. Listen, double murderer would not be guy who gives little girl a sweet cake and sits on a bench with her.
Can you imagine if that was a twist? Like, you solve this case, like, in the next episode in present day, and it's actually like, yeah, he did it, and that's why he's never in a game again.
Gumshoe was actually just a complete fucking asshole this whole time.
Yeah, like, he's like a Dachi, yeah.
It's like, out of sight, out of mind, pal.
Yeah, why so serious?
Yo, Ross, hey, Eggsworth, I want those extra 4 hours of Reborn. Here's a picture for you.
Here's a video.
Gumshoe, no. I sent it to all your friends, pal. I sent it to Phoenix. He wants to talk.
He seemed excited.
Clack, clack, clack. I guess he finally cleaned up the bodies. This is a long one. What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent?
It's the Pokemon ability. It smells like flowers. Uncle Bad, is this it?
Isn't that Detective Bad and Kay over there?
It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff.
And you only shout
No.
bailiff if it's like the first line in like an exclamation point.
I do what I want, man. That's not quite it. Aw, too bad, but it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it, even though this is a crime scene. Thanks, I'll treasure it always.
Those two seem to get along rather well.
Oh, here, I've got something else for you. Yay, thank you, Uncle Bad. Earlier I ate one of these with Gummy. Gummy? No, you mean Gumshoe. Gummy is... He was trying to be nice to me because I was going to get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy. Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying. I'm not crying.
Okay.
Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady, too.
Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being?
In what car? With what driver? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation.
Is that so, Detective Bad?
Yeah, I guess. What? You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene. And now you let this child run free? Why? People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into.
Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look out somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister.
Yeah, what is it?
I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So please, find the real bad guy, okay? I wasn't going to, but...
I want to forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, Gumshoe will have to do. There's no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering.
This is just such an Edgeworth line.
Detective Bad, what exactly was Case searching for?
Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter.
What?
Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste.
It sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again.
I don't have anything to say to you. What a nice finger.
Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answered to. Like, he just reaches up, grabs his finger, and snaps it. Ugh! Now then, first of all, what is this overpowering smell that is permeating from this room?
It's my cigarette. Oh.
What is this ominous light that threatens to engulf us?
It's the light bulb.
Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. That's how I feel whenever someone's spraying fucking herbal whatever shit it is. Like that herbal soothing crap. Oils.
It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears is gonna implicate her as a murderer. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. Did you hear, speaking of essential oils, do you hear that Walmart recalled a specific kind they were selling that contained a bacteria that is listed as dangerous as anthrax and the Black Plague?
Nice!
Yeah! So that's cool. Anyways, I didn't think twice and open the window, but the smell's still here.
Perfume. So the sweet scent in the air is perfume.
Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said it's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. Humph. I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as how you just happened to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail.
Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears, just fantastic. See, this is like perfectly explains why you would never want actually Von Karma as a girlfriend. It would just be nothing but an unsatisfying relationship. You would never be able to satisfy that girl.
Genuinely, I think it would be the kind of thing where it's like, by the time you're close enough to even be officially dating, you have already gotten past that point.
Yeah, but how do you even get to that point?
I genuinely think you could. Genuinely, if you like the way she shows her like soft spot at times, like if this was somebody you interact with very regularly and you're not like a family member who it like makes sense to like pick on all the time, like it would, yeah, I think it could work. And that's not just because she's attractive. I really like her personality otherwise too.
Well, if you have the motivation, I suppose anything can work.
Not really.
I would personally be. I'd get fucking over it in like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, my arm fucking hurts from all the whip marks. I'm just gonna leave. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. So you were in this room the entire recess?
Like I said, I made a call to... Oh, the bodies ain't cleaned up. This is the other room. I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent.
Earlier you stated that you were in the lobby with Miss Yu.
Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here.
Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations?
Guess I am.
Interesting.
Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you.
Oof. Oof. Let's see, Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bab was the lead detective on that case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cease, but because you were the lead detective on the case.
You knew?
I also know that today's trial involved the Codopium embassy staff member. The Codopium, is being referred to as the second KG8 incident.
No, it's not. Who the fuck told you that? Von Karma. Yeah, it makes sense. He'd say shit like that.
Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me. Tell me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday. And the KG8 incident. It's a love triangle. All 3 of us love each other.
You already know that much. I guess it'd be alright to tell you.
Imagine
It's
that
a love triangle.
Yeah. That'd be something. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident.
It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved. You two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident.
It was a lollipop all along, I knew it.
And this is how we tie it to episode 3. Every time he said lolly, that was actually really important.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, absolutely. No other implications. Thank you.
Yeah. Faraday, you and I. As you already know, we 3 were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring.
You mean the smuggling case with the Amano? Darn Ted Skip.
That trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah, but the case became more tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed.
Oh good, I thought you were going to talk about the circus ring. No man, not ever. Then who became of the secretary who was arrested?
Wait a second, we're in the past. We can stop Turnabout Big Top from happening. Go, go, go! His name was Colin Deveray.
What would you have to do to stop Turnabout Big Top? Would you have to, like, fucking kill Acro and Bat? Kill Regina? Would that work?
I don't care about it. No, I'd just go kill fucking Max. I'd kill Max in the ventriloquist. You know what? Fucking Bat can like die and Acro can kill the Ringmaster. That's fine. I just don't want Max and the Puppet Master to be around.
But Max is like from Indiana, I think. I don't remember where he's from. He has like the country hick accent.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's what people think of my fucking state as. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway.
All they had to do was make Regina 18. It still would have been weird, but at least it would have been like legal weird, not fucking illegal 16-year-old weird.
Yeah, but like they still grew up with her. Like,
There was a lot of things that could have changed to make that less fucking weird.
could have just removed that entire section.
Yeah. I like the idea of them going to a circus. It's not a
That's
bad
fine.
idea.
Yeah, it's not circus is not bad.
As much as the one guy spouted, as much as Mo just spouted bad jokes, I didn't hate Mo. He was kind of funny sometimes.
Mo would have been fine if he was the worst part of the case, but he was far from it.
Which is not good. He was supposed to be the worst part of the case.
Yeah, basically. Can you let me do my backstory now? Thanks. Deveray was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat.
Oh, you mean like the Yu-Gi-Oh card? Alright, shut up. The boss man of the Amano group. He can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved in the smuggling?
I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of her murder... Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go?
If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him.
That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. You see, I tap when I attack. Faraday, CC, I was supposed to protect them both.
Miss, you did mention that as well. About how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister. About how we both keep telling terrible jokes that the other person doesn't laugh at.
Yeah, average night in the Discord.
Yeah,
Even I, who was
right.
supposed to protect them. I fell into their trap. What kind of a trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap.
You mean, I was right. You were fired upon? I was right.
Yeah, what do you know? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No. Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident.
I see.
I couldn't protect CCU. Yeah, the suspect was found not guilty. We'd hit a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. Alright, bye. I wasn't done. but
Hello.
Whatever.
Can you not stand directly behind me? About when you first met Miss Yu. It was on the day the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not?
Yes. Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. Then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough.
I suppose
I
not.
suppose not. You
no.
said it herself. Yeah, she never wanted to see either of us ever again. Definitely no motive to murder.
But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct?
Yeah, Faraday and I, even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases.
You know what Bad reminds me of?
What?
He's like a mixture of Dojima, Hammer from Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, and a little bit of the damn Brad I'll sue guy from Persona 5.
I don't really know any Castlevania characters other than the obvious ones. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring.
Is the ring really that big?
It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring.
Playing this game makes me realize that I should not feel so bad for putting so many ellipses in my writing.
Yeah, same. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective,
It actually is a lot.
took to the witness stand. It'd be less if they weren't text boxes. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney.
Every single line.
Because it's a giant run-on sentence, right?
Her comment was related to the smuggling ring and she was defending them?
Yeah. You was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time, for the same reason.
Sorry, I can't stop noticing it now.
It
Even
doesn't-
I don't do it this much.
I'm noticing it, but it doesn't bother me at all.
Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to that effect. Maybe it's just because me as an English major, that was a thing that you could easily get criticized for, is just putting a shit ton of
It would be
ellipses.
better without them. It just isn't, taking me out of it.
Yeah.
I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG8 incident, alright?
And for that you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer?
Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rell was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you, that's how naive you are. This is a stupid line. How dare you insult the daughter of a Von Karma! Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do.
That's all. I guess Emily didn't feel like reading that line.
And it froze while his hand was in his jacket, so I was like, wait, is he pulling out a gun for real this time?
Nice.
That's all.
The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman.
You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all.
So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well.
I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and we cracked quite a few cases together.
But you two seem to have made no progress at all at the Yata-lock case.
Did we touch a nerve? I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yata-lock than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. To prove that Rel was not the real Yata-lock. Which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either.
I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yata-lock is what's necessary. Good lord.
What is happening in there?
You claim to know much about the Yata-lock. Would you care to share what you know with me? Who was the character who said, "Get that yaoi finger out of my face"?
Was that Gumshoe? Or... It might have been him, I'm not sure. What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murder's intent towards Faraday and Rel.
I agree. Which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yata-lock.
What?
The KG-8 incident and the second KG-8 incident, no one calls it that. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ. And that is the presence or the absence of the great time thief, Yata-lock. I don't know why I added thief there, or time. Yata-lock. What? Mr. Rel claimed to be Yata-lock, however, in the middle of the trial. He suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yata-lock. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be at least a little odd?
Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already.
I believe there must be some reason for that. The two men suspected of being the Yata-lock were both killed at the same time.
A reason, huh?
And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yata-lock.
If it'll help you solve this case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yata-lock. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident.
It's pretty bad
Ooh.
jerk reaction.
This theme.
This theme?
Yeah.
Have we heard this one before?
I don't know, but it's good.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have. This is the court theme. Yeah, this is like a court theme from either the... Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, yep, I hear it now. Alright.
Suddenly there's a bunch of remixes. I don't know why.
I love it, though.
Still accidentally whipped me anyway.
After like a 5-minute delay. There are 3 main reasons why the Yata-lock will always be one step ahead. First, the Yata-lock always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yata-lock always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yata-lock doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever.
I see. So those are the Yata-lock's special traits.
Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yata-lock has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yata-lock right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. Yeah? What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy, the Yata-lock.
The Yata-lock sent the evidence?
Until now, the Yata-lock would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about.
In that case, how can you be so sure it was the Yata-lock who sent it?
That's easy. A special card that only the Yata-lock uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure.
And just what sort of card was it?
Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yata-lock wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was.
Ah, and that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a better understanding of the Yata-lock now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? His Honor would like to have a word with you, and would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, I'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood, I'll be there shortly. Detective Bab, what does the law mean to you?
Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive.
I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself. And to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Appears His Honor still a bit dispirited.
For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony.
I won't let this ever reflect in my dealings ever again.
Technically, you've only ever seen my character after this point, so as far as you know, it did. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor.
I mean, we have.
You haven't seen his character before this episode.
Oh. Yeah, I guess so. Fair enough. This is the earliest point in the timeline.
Yep.
That's
Also,
a
I read
weird thought. Yeah.
As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict.
Francisco, there's no need to further depress His Honor.
But I'm not trying to, Miles.
Your Honor?
He's so sad. Holy shit, I didn't look at his face.
Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence. Your Honor!
Oh, you! Yes, can I help you?
I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir.
Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would accept that the defense attorney is yet to arrive.
She is busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we?
Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present.
And please also lower your fucking finger.
Furthermore, the evidence... See, look, I have normal hands! Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell...
No, he's got pretty big hands, too. That gavel's small in his hands.
are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case.
Understood, Your Honor. This piece of evidence that was used in the murder of these two men. This court could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding the case. It may be even something that will finally lead me to the truth.
I've placed all the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. The gun is loaded.
I see, thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. Alright, now, ultimate challenge mode. Which side is the prosecutor's bench? Well, Phoenix is always on the left in the games and cuts to the right. So it must be the right.
Like the thing is that it's not a logic thing. There's literally a bunch of evidence on the other table, and that's where he said the evidence was.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's just funny that the camera angles are positioned from the judge's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really weird. You think it'd be from the witness's point of view?
Well, it's because you're head on to the witness stand, right, when the witness is talking. So that makes enough sense to me.
Yeah, but then
actually.
you cut head on to the judge.
Yeah. I think it makes more sense to view it from the judge's perspective, honestly.
It just always feels like you walk in from the back, so that just makes the most sense to me.
I get that. I mean, I don't think there's like a perfect answer, but I like how they do it.
That's fine.
Miles Edgeworth, if you press the A button...
Just enjoying the music, Francisca.
Jeez.
We have an investigation to do. You know you can't just walk off with it, right?
Of course I do. Miss Yu must have been caught off guard by our client's sudden accusation. I wonder how she would have defended Mr. Rell in that case if he were still alive. So this is the evidence related to today's Godopian embassy from that Mr. Faraday's bag.
You mean the evidence bag that wasn't on the table in lobby... Or that was on the table in lobby number 2, right?
Yes, finally we can now take a look at the evidence itself and not just data around them.
Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. Well, how thoroughly,
Say
Mr.
the
Edgeworth?
line, Bart.
How thoroughly, Mr. Edgeworth?
Agreed. I want to take a good look at all of the evidence from the embassy murder, too. And why is that? Oh,
And why is that?
wow, I did it once. Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about.
Gah! Ha. Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something.
I am absolutely not pointing it at you at all. It's actually like it couldn't be further. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today.
I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma.
It's also real to see the knife up close.
Please don't do it. So we have the knife, the gun, the envelope. And what's this organizer doing here?
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. It's a bomb.
About what, Your Honor?
It's a bomb. They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer in the evidence packages. I had a stroke. Detective Bad requested to be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation.
Detective Bad said that.
What a strange stroke of luck. It's not lucky. I'm gonna die.
We'll never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it then. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. There's 4 items, Edward. Say something different. Even 7 years ago, we said the same fucking thing.
We're gonna start the second game and you're gonna be like, Emily, voice Edgeworth this time.
You know, I considered
You do
it.
it.
I considered you doing the perspective of the game. But then it'd be awkward if we ever ran into another situation where it's Von Karma, because then you want to voice Von Karma. I guess I'd do Gumshoe. But then he's the villain, so who knows?
Yeah, he's the villain.
He's the ultimate bad. Evil. Bad.
The evil Mr. Bad.
The evil Mr. Dark.
You know, if you press the A button, you won't have to see the shitty line anymore. Miles Edgeworth.
I just have to stare at it a little bit. I might go make coffee.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So entertain them while I make
Oh,
coffee.
entertain them.
That's right.
Alright, I'm gonna play it. Super auto pass. That's such entertaining way to listen to me. So yeah, I'll screen share it and oh no, you won't get any audio at all, will you? Well, I really hope that it like genuinely, as much as I want to see more Gumshoe and like Ace Attorney fucking 7 or whatever. I really hope that it's just a well guarded spoiler like that, because that would be really fucking good. I mean, obviously if they executed it well. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would have heard about it, but still. Cause like I could really see it being, or maybe there's like a case where he's like a sympathetic guilty, you know, like maybe like there's like a good reason that he did it. Cause that would just be heartbreaking. Could be really good. Alright, I ran out of things to say. I'm just gonna procedurally loop my dialogue, except I'm also not. If you press the right arrow a few times, I'll probably get you to coffee, Ross. Probably. Maybe it takes like all day. What if you just booked it? He's like, I'm not reading this fucking nook and cranny line. He just like ran away from the computer. I guess he already read the line, but you know. I'm just gonna get a message from Super like, holy shit, Emily ran all the way to my house just to stop hearing this same dialogue over and over. What if I just dropped campaign spoilers, just like in the middle of the video? It'd be kind of funny, right? Maybe it's not worth it, technically, but it would be really funny. I'd be, like, pissed. I mean, if that's my campaign, I guess he wouldn't be pissed, right? Not that, like, I do everything on the basis of if it would make Ross mad, believe it or not. Like, you could be forgiven for thinking that's how I operate. Not true though. It sounds fun. Maybe we should try it. Leave a comment below if I should try it. You know, I could be using this time to think about the case. Nah. That'd be too, like, helpful. You know, I got my mom gave me like a little stress squeezy doll today. It's got really helpful after a 4-sword session. I just imagine like fucking Jaden's beating fucking heart. I'm fine though. It's all good. Too bad I can't really use the stress doll during 4 swords, but you know, it works out, I guess.
Alright, so how'd you entertain them?
I think I did all right. There was some dead air. But it was good. I think if you watch it back later, you'll be entertained.
Is it a lot of spoilers?
No, I did joke about doing spoilers. Maybe I would have gotten bored and done spoilers, but I started playing Autopets.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
And
getting up, moving my legs, and grabbing coffee, a little more awake right now.
That's good. Also, it was great timing because I just lost my Autopets run.
Nice.
8 wins, baby. That means literally nothing to you. Anyways. Oh,
This
cat milk.
gun! It was originally used to kill the Kotopian embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest.
And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
Indeed.
I got Allie to laugh.
There doesn't seem to be anything else I can learn from this piece of evidence. Was that a reference to? I forget.
Star Wars, Darth Sidious the Wise.
Ah, well, that would be why I didn't recognize it. It's a knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday.
Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act?
And it's never crossed your mind that you use it for riding. They use your riding crop for the wrong purpose. Is that what it's called? It's called a riding crop?
I think she gets an actual whip later.
Right. Is that what the Elysian whip? Do you think I should call it that? Call it the riding crop?
I don't know. I like it better as a whip, but...
Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he's
Well,
used to the habit
I don't
of using
have to have bad motives for that. Jeez. It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here.
I've collected the evidence. I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested in the surveillance tape, I should be... Man, imagine Phoenix doing something like this.
Yeah.
It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in this case. It also appeared that he had proved that Mr. Rell was not the Yata-lock. And apparently also had a very definitive piece of evidence divided by 4. Yes, I believe that's what Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rell may have had about being the real Yata-lock divided by 4.
And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder. I don't get a way to say divided by 4. Tisk.
This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later. Now they're putting the text there it goes. Mr. Faraday is an organizer. Yeah.
Look, there's a picture stuck between the pages here.
It appears to be a key.
And a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle.
Fuck the handle. They got the locksmith to make a lock that would only open with a butterfly?
Fucking Persona fans, am I right?
The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yata-lock's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer?
The Yata-lock's key?
Detective Bad said something about it earlier.
Oh my god, I said Sidious. It starts Plagueis. Fake fan. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring. Was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kotopian embassy. The Yata-lock.
The Yata-lock sent the evidence?
Until now, the Yata-lock would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. Alright, now the dots are getting me.
Yeah.
Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret
I
key
stopped
safe.
noticing. It's kind of like telling someone, oh, remember to breathe. I'm like, ah, shit. As a prosecutor about the Yata-lock and the smuggling cases, that's to be expected. Yata-lock key jotted down in my organizer. Oh, wait. Now I remember where I know Darth Plague... now I remember where I know Darth Plagueis from.
Yeah, it's the copy pasta.
You're gonna have to ask me where I know it from after this, though. I don't want to say that in recording.
Okay.
That's odd.
What is it? some weird Star Wars fan fiction.
You could say that. Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about the knife in his organizer.
That certainly is odd.
The weapon that was used to kill the Kodopian embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from?
Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rell. That's the only logical conclusion, right?
No, because it's not easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him
Dual
to bring...
Destinies, they stopped checking you for contraband, but that's fine.
Yeah, that guy brought in a fucking bomb.
I mean, it was like it was evidence for the blah 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 case, but he brought in like all of his tools to work on it and shit. Bullshit.
Making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as that inside.
In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse?
Also, a certain somebody brought a lot of spy and tech gear in, including a spinning blade.
Yeah, that's right. Adachi.
I need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that his knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence.
Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me?
Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca.
What? Then what is it?
One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought to the courthouse.
The knife. Was it? No, I don't think that would be it. Was it the fucking, like, I mean, it might have been the organizer, but maybe it was also, like, Kay's promise book. Yeah, because if you check the cap, it actually is a pen.
See, Mr. Fair was in the habit of using very nice fountain
Wait, is that
pens.
the butterfly key, and that's just, like, actually what the top of it? No, because it was ink. Alright, whatever. That'd be a twist, though.
Surprised Mr. Von Karma has to sign anything. I thought he'd have a crest stamp made.
Crests are canon in this Fire Emblem setting. Miles Edgeworth.
You know, that's going to be really awkward if we merge ours. What the fuck are you talking about? Crests? What?
You know.
We have brands. Those exist.
Yeah, so do we. Oh.
Neat. Ours give us magic powers. What? Anyway.
Technically, that's not established as not canon yet. We'll see, though. I literally, I sort of, I'm 50-50 on just making that a thing. Sort of.
Up to you.
If Venora's like, oh yeah, I have a brand power, I decided that after this recording.
I made it specifically so people only decide or only figure it out usually later in life. Like, it's technically
makes
there,
sense.
but it's genuinely pretty obscure what they are.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Like fucking what's her name has like a heron sensor. Like
Heron
you wouldn't-
sensor, which you would not really know about.
Also make sure
Ashera
to-
has like a weapon sensor, but for very specific weapons.
Yeah,
It's a lot of sensory powers.
I guess it is, huh? Just do a bit where Venora's like, oh, I have a cake sensor. It finds cake.
Yeah, it should probably be something at least a little bit useful.
Cake is useful.
The implication behind it being, well, they have brand powers because their life is going to fucking suck, so you might as well give them a little something to get an edge in the world.
What are the crests for? It's the opposite. Probably the organizer. Hell if I know, though. Well, I don't know. Why would he need to sneak one in, though, right?
I'm thinking it has to be something that like actually has a way of not being.
It wouldn't be a plastic bag.
I think it's the pen.
It may be, but why would he do that?
Because they would have checked him, they would have been like, "Oh, a pen. It's not a knife." Okay.
Yeah, but he could have just been like, "Hey, this is evidence in court. This knife," and they're like, "Oh, all right."
Because then he could have brought in a knife, essentially.
I guess he could have brought it like to like the rooms and stuff. We could try it.
I'm
Maybe you're right.
gonna go with it.
I don't see how that answers my question at all.
Every piece of evidence has some secretive aspect about it.
Oh, then I demand to know what the secret is to this one.
Alright, maybe there isn't a secret to this one.
I mean, I don't have a better answer, so I wouldn't feel bad about that.
Okay. However,
the fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Firstly, there's one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen. It can't just be the key, though, right?
the gun. It's a key gun.
I think it actually is the key.
This Yata-lock key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse.
You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth.
You just need to look a bit closer, Francis. Good to see what I mean. Don't the color and the ornamentation of the knife... Oh, so it's like a pocket knife. Okay.
They do remind me of the knife.
Very good. Both the Yata-lock's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design to its handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentioned the Yata-lock key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife.
You don't seriously mean to say...
It appears that you've finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same.
But that's impossible!
Even if that's what you believe, we still should investigate the possibility. I love how she has the same pose as her father, just like Edgeworth has the same pose. It's fucking, like, both adorable, insane, and hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Now then, let's examine this knife in a little more detail. Alright, press the side. What's the button for...
Maybe it's the thing in the center?
Aha.
Oh.
Clack.
I can't believe it turned into a key. To think there was such a trick to this thing.
So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yata-lock stole. I think a key knife sounds pretty badass.
Yeah, what if it was like a sword, though?
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick. Anyway. Do you think you could get away with this on, like, an airplane? Because you see stories all the time, people being like, yo, look what I snuck onto the airplane, yo, yo, yo! And it's just like those, like, card key knives. It's real dumb, but, you know.
Maybe. I mean, I don't want to fucking find out.
Yeah, I have absolutely no reason to find out, but... be interesting, I guess. I think with airport security as tight as it is, even if you were able to get on the plane, you wouldn't be able to do much with it. Door of the cockpit is, like, pretty secure.
Right into jail.
You would, and there's probably people on the plane to kick your fucking ass.
You know, I'm thinking about how, because of, like, the pandemic, the official statement is that, like, if you, if you're not wearing a mask when, like, you're not eating food, you might be removed from the plane. And it's like, what do you mean removed from the plane? We're fucking, like, thousands of feet in the air. Do you, like, fucking...
Don't you
like,
know, airplane pilots have a right to the security of their passengers and themselves. If they feel you as a threat, they are allowed to decompress the aircraft and throw you out of it.
Yeah. MF was ejected, 2 imposters remain.
The Burger King was thrown off. The plane was better. Did you see that Charlie video? It's fucking hilarious. This guy going insane. Some racist...
the zombie guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Actually, there were 2 people. He was watching a couple. There was the Burger King, and then there was also the zombie guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they were both racist. That seems to be a running trend with insanity.
Yeah, I wonder.
This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now.
Frankly, I'm shocked.
You're still sticking that finger in the air. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of the piece of the evidence in his organizer. Maybe the game wanted to be 3-dimensional. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was hiding
that's
the
what
knife
I've been
blade
saying.
inside.
But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to the knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday.
Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Meaning that the only person it could have been who sent the key in the first place, the great thief Yata-lock.
Yeah.
It was so easy to... It was a button on the fucking... Like, seriously? Then maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario?
I mean, I would know. I'd be like, leather, but it's also, like, severely weighted here with metal. I'd be like, what the fuck? That's weird. I'd take one look at the thing and be like, oh, there's a gold piece. Can I, like, press that? Got it like a
But
switchblade.
it's like a fucking butterfly key. I think that you could, like, be like, oh, it's heavy. It's like a fucking designer thing. Also, it wasn't a button. I think it was something you had to, like, slide.
If I saw a key that stylized, I'd probably inspect it. That's just like what if I look at something in my hand.
But if it's like a great thief's, I mean, yes, a great thief would have a trick weapon, but also you might go, oh yeah, a great thief would have a stupid fucking like bullshit key.
I would believe that, and as such, I would like examine it because I'd be interested. I'd be like, ooh, this is neat. Oh, look at this shining gold thing over here. I wonder what that does if I press it. Oh,
Again,
it comes a knife.
I also don't think it's a button. I think it's like you slide it around.
Yeah, but I would notice that I'd be like, push, slide, because, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Boy Scout. I just find that shit, I'm like, ooh, neat.
I think it's definitely one of, like, far from the least believable, thing in these games.
Oh, absolutely, it is. But, yeah. I was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rel was not the key to Yata-lock. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier.
But, when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card... Really no idea what it was. I see. Alright, then I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yata-lock.
It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case.
Good
Edward,
one.
Stop talking.
Don't you have some suspicious-looking nooks and crannies to check?
Please stop! You're not even making sense! I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started.
Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it.
I suppose I should explain it to you then.
Yes, you should, perfectly and in its entirety, if you please.
On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mackerel was brought in the night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot.
A simpleton of a man, that's what he was.
Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rel was caught in the act on film by a security camera.
He was an even bigger simpleton than I'd thought. I can't believe he didn't notice the security camera.
The Cadopian embassy security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area.
So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself?
Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rel on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear.
So that footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life.
Me neither.
Cough, cough.
Cough. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court.
The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
The video
Where did it
showing
come
the
from?
moment in which Mr. Rel committed the
Cotton
murder,
Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye Joe. Where could it have gone indeed?
Are you done with your inspection of the evidence?
That took fucking 8 hours!
Why'd you get coffee? Look, I died.
Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence.
Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties?
Do you fucking listen to yourself? Jesus Christ, it's 2011.
I get what Callisto's saying now. Fuck, you're hilarious. No, I did not lick my duties. What do you take me for?
No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. I would just like to remind everyone that the judge has gone to school more than everyone else in this room.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking
Yeah.
dumbass. I love that fact. He has absolutely attended, like, he has to at least have masters, right? How
How long does it take for a court judge to go to school to become a judge? How many years of experience does it require?
Yeah.
Years of schooling to be a judge.
By the way, I think this is 2014.
Okay. If you want to qualify to become a judge in a higher court, you must attend an American Bar Association accredited law school and get a Juris Doctor degree.
Wait.
A full-time JD degree program takes 3 years. 3 years? That's fucking it.
Oh, this is 2013.
5 years or 3 years. What the... Really? That's it?
I mean, if you compare that to how long it takes you to become a cop, it's like forever.
Holy shit. I didn't realize it was that. I thought it was like... it is a doctorate.
Yeah, I'm
Doctoral...
pretty sure you can become a cop in like fucking like 2 months.
Okay, it's not that much. It's like 2 to 3 years. It's short, but it's not like that short. And certainly it doesn't cover everything, let's be honest.
Let's see. Well, in my state, it's 8 to 12 months.
That's pretty short. That's probably on the shorter end. I imagine in New Jersey, or like one of those other places with a lot of crime.
I just probably got on a list for searching how quickly can you become a cop.
Did you? You think so?
I mean, maybe, right?
They're like, put them on the list, boys. They take one look, they're like, oh, wait, it's Emily. Never mind, take her off the list. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me.
But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene.
Did I say something stupid? There's
For
something
once,
wrong
no.
here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime. Defendant lobby number 2.
Number 2.
Time to go examine some bars.
Yo,
Who
who's
the
that guy?
fuck is this?
Is that Lang? It's not Lang, right?
It's either Lang or it's the guy from Persona 3. You know, Hitler? Like little Hitler youth?
That's Persona 2.
Oh, yeah, not that Hitler. I mean, like, the little badass who's the security dude from Persona 3.
I don't remember that guy.
He's the guy who's really interested in who put the cigarette in the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You really don't remember him.
I sure don't.
We joked. He was like the Aryan white race fucking loser.
Oh my god.
I mean, seriously, look at him. All right. Persona 3... The hell was his like Arcana? Social links. All right, let's go find him. We're never going to get this done, are we?
No.
All right. Do. He was the Emperor? Yes, he was the Emperor. There's no info on that. All right. Persona 3 Emperor. God damn it. Why is this so hard to find for literally no reason? Hidetoshi. Yeah, this fucking loser.
Okay. Oh, this guy. I must have completely missed the Hitler jokes. I guess he does have like an armband, but so does everyone else in Persona 3.
He does, but his look in particular makes him just look like a little fucking punk.
I definitely didn't pay much attention during his social links.
They were kind of funny sometimes. He's just kind of a little douchebag.
I mean, I paid attention during the only important social link in the franchise. So.
That's true. The Devil Arcana, of course. Tanaka.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
It
But
lets
isn't
you
Devil
skip
the
the
nurse?
game.
The Devil's the nurse, right?
Devil's the nurse in the 4th.
The nurse is. Oh, the nurse is in P4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was in 3 for some reason.
It feels like a Persona 3 social link, to be fair. It's
Yeah.
very weird and sexually and weird. And sexual and weird.
I mean, that'd make you think it's a Persona 5 social link.
That one's also sexual and weird, but, we don't talk about that one. That's
Yeah,
Detective
but-
Bad.
Alright.
But who is he?
I've never seen that officer before.
Yep.
It is. So, did you find it?
No, not yet, and I've looked everywhere.
I see. Well then, please continue with the search.
Hooray, someone else I can voice.
Understood. I'll continue the search. So you're the one running the show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes.
How dare you? Just who do you think you are?
What a Chad, holy shit.
I wish I had enough confidence to just walk away if someone asked me who I was. What was that all about now, and who was that man?
Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life.
Very impressive, though. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him?
Holding a mirror, dumbass. I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? Looks like you were paying attention after all. Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head.
He was looking at his mirror. Ah, so that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye on who or what is behind him at all times.
That's stupid.
So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now?
The guy came here from the Republic of Zhang-Fa to study. He's Agent Lang.
Can you imagine the world in which we decide to outfit all of our police officers with, like, rear view mirrors? Like, on their, like, armor? To, like, let them look behind them?
I just bring a laser pointer everywhere.
He's Agent Lang.
He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family.
Honor.
He's traveling the world, studying different philosophies of detainment from scratch.
Isn't it so sad that his family got dishonored, though? I like them having a monopoly.
Like, that's the thing, right?
By visiting various police departments around the world. A lot of dedication. I punched my mic.
He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy is more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time.
I'd say he's just like every other person in the entire game. I agree, however, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad?
Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you.
I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine.
over here.
This is the game I want to play, then. I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what's happened in this room straight from him, in every one of his suspicious nook and crannies. Please get out of my suspicious nook and crannies.
He just has so many of them.
Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad.
Yeah, they're like 3 seconds apart. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say.
I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked you what happened again, correct?
Holy shit, dude. I mean, I don't have anything left to say to you, boy.
Boy, you'll see I will draw your answers from you one way or another.
Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think?
Please, we're asking for just a bit more of your cooperation.
Don't push me, kid.
I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime.
The crime. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do will be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Things you don't know about, but aren't you supposed to know everything?
You should. Wait, is this possible? Maybe he doesn't know anything about the trick behind that piece of evidence. I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad.
Oh, Miles Edgeworth, I get it. Good one. Bravo.
Calm down, Francisca. Wasn't that exciting? Good lord.
It's been a long day, okay?
Go get a Swiss cake or something. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph?
Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yata-lock case.
In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yata-lock key are one and the same?
What? That's impossible. It looks like he didn't know after all. What a loser.
This piece of evidence, which we call the Yata-lock key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. See, now this is where I call bullshit. I definitely feel like if they got access to the knife, they would check it all over the fucking place. If they're fingerprinting the fucking thing, they would find the thing to switch it into a knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yata-lock key to prove that Mr. Rell was not the real Yata-lock. Isn't that correct?
I guess so.
He just slowly reaches over and slaps the lollipop on Edgeworth's face. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife. Actually, he just licks it and just sticks it in Edgeworth's mouth. You know, that's a different story.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And neither one of us knew that no one in law enforcement knew either. How'd we miss something as big as this?
I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for?
Yeah, that's right.
And why were you searching for it?
Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life?
It's really just bad because there's a bunch of commas. Detective Bad? Or not commas, ellipses.
Yeah.
So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more.
Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Oh fuck, it changed.
Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1.
My answer is still the same, and this is the last time I'm gonna do this.
That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up. Dude, that's right in his eye. And please find the truth behind this case.
You got a weird little wart on your finger you should get checked out, Miles. Look serious.
How was wart removal, by the way?
It was a mole removal. It was fine.
Okay. Was
Really
it on,
the
like,
worst-
your hand, or, like...
It was on my back. Really the worst part was just getting the lidocaine needle in there. Which
Ah.
wasn't that bad. I was in lobby number 1 talking with you. Not you, but you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed in out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2. It sounds like the exact same story you told us before.
Indeed. However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can.
Press time.
Rebut. Reborn time.
But
Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 1? Answer me!
who knows? She just said that she had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all.
So his answer remains the same as before, I see. I was hoping that you could expand on exactly what you were discussing with Miss Yu.
Trivial stuff. It was nothing important.
That's for me to decide. Love triangle. It's not important. Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on, then. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything that was out of the ordinary?
I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
The gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder.
Yeah.
That would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now.
So it's the balloon popping. Is what you gotta present there.
Yeah. Boop. Object, 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 check, object. Did I ever show
Objection.
you objection funk?
Yes, yes.
Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything?
It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah. I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled the balloon up for her.
Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did find itself inside Kay's balloon.
What the fuck did you just say
This
to me?
piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. Find itself inside. Oh no.
Edgeworth, you're banned from like all public locations, and we're putting it on a list.
So, what about the balloon?
No, let's not talk about the balloon anymore. Forget it. We'll just move on. I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point.
What are you getting at?
This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of the balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gun shot.
Oh? So the sound the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene.
Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway. When you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad, and if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well.
So?
Don't give me a so!
We just proved that there's a flaw in your testimony!
The crackling of the
Cracking
truth.
of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking.
I'm just used to voicing the gravelly-throated detectives, so, you know.
Yeah. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged?
Soundproof.
That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. But what is that supposed to mean? The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material.
Give me some of that, please.
Also,
Can
the
you
steam
mean-
rolls. Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. No.
I knew that what he was going to say.
Then that means that Scruffy Face's testimony is completely useless.
This is
The rooms are
useless.
soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle.
Whoa!
That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic, not the other way around.
The other way around. It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if we were in lobby number 1. However, we examine the situation in reverse. A person standing in the hallway should not have been able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it when he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot?
What do you mean, how? I just did.
It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words.
Oh? How so?
If the rooms are soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears?
I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought.
Maybe it's because a gunshot is like 80 times louder than a fucking balloon pop.
Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to?
I'm gonna boil you down. Boils down to this: there must be a reason. See, even there, his finger is bigger than her forehead.
Yeah.
As to how Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically could have. No, I guess that's about right. You know, if I extend my fingers, I could go up the whole length of my forehead, but like, Jesus Christ, dude. That is one powerful finger.
Looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? Also,
Please.
save it for Phoenix.
State of the crime scene. Wait, can it be?
It's that ultra-strong perfume you wear. She spilled some of it. And way too noisy. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go?
Oh, good. I actually don't have to go over there, I think.
Window, loud television
Dissipating the
missing
spell.
evidence? Oh, okay, okay.
The window was open. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through the barred windows, and yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can always move freely through open barred windows.
This is like Danganronpa 2, where they're like, how many sides does an octagon have? Hold up, oh, too late. Ross advanced the line. I was gonna show you a line, but Ross advanced it.
Sorry.
Did you catch
Did you
that?
call me a bitch? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't realize you
He's
wanted me to
really
pause.
apologetic.
No, Ross.
I'll show you the upload later. It's fine.
What a bitch, dude. This fucking asshole advancing the line. Can't believe it. Anyway. So... Where did the surveillance tape disappear? Probably through the window.
I was gonna say it was the television playing it.
That... Oh, you think it's in the television?
Yeah.
I thought you just chucked it out the window. But that
I mean,
also makes
maybe.
sense. Not that.
Maybe
Let's try
you're
that.
right. I don't know.
Well, let's try yours first. I figured he chucked it out the window. I think he chucked it out the window.
All right, well,
The pieces don't fit together quite right.
unless it's window and television, but like the TV noise coming out.
Well, let's try it. Damn. Did not knock him out the window.
Why am I glad that you're wrong?
Because we were both
Um,
wrong. But the second
yeah.
time... Anyway.
Yeah. So then you're gonna be like, oh, and it had to be playing something through the window, the evidence, gunshot from the surveillance tape, whatever.
Now then, what else besides a smell can go both out and in of an open barred window? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the window was both the defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations.
Then couldn't the balloon pop have gone from one to the other? No!
Windows were open, so the gunshot could be heard, but where did it originate from? The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess, and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place.
Miles, what have you been thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again at the TV, which I believe might have the tape.
It's not a waste of
I'm
time
so
to think, for
smart.
I have figured out where we should look.
And where would that be?
I believe we should examine the television.
You don't have to point at it. The TV. Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like.
He's gonna say it, isn't he? He's gonna fucking say it. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious octagon and smell perforating from the window. The video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside. This has all the energy of the first game of Undertale, just being like, something fills you with determination. This fills you with determination. This fills you with determination. And then Deltarune is just like, let's say every other word other than determination of what this fills you with. Because Toby's like, I'm sorry that I did that. That was cringy. Let's just make it every other word.
That was actually like good though.
I think it was. I think it worked, but then people like fucking ran into the ground, so everyone was like, just make the word everything other than the word determination.
Also, in Deltarune, it is the same thing every time. It's just like the phrase is filled with a power is what they say instead of determination every time. Like it's always like filled with the power of blank.
Yeah. But there's a lot of different things it's filled with the power of.
Yeah. But also there are a lot of different things that gave you determination, right?
I suppose so. So maybe the first game is about how you gain your determination. And the second game is where you draw your power from.
Oh.
The source of life.
And the third game.
The third game is Temmie College. All right, let's go. It looks like
It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end.
this tape. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape?
I suppose, but...
Detective Bad, would it be alright if you and I verified the contents of this video?
Sure, knock yourself out. Alright, then let's rewind this and see what we have. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rel killing the embassy staff member...
Did you have a VCR growing up?
Yeah.
So you're familiar with that sound?
But I got a DVD player, like, before I started forming memories.
Mm.
So I know that, I know that I had VHS tapes, but, like, I only remember using DVDs.
I remember using VHS tapes. We had a personal, rewinder, so you could, pull it out of the TV and rewind it separately from the TV.
I've heard of those. Should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape.
Understood. You should be about right. Now then, let's see.
Yeah, this is the footage of Mr. Rel shooting the embassy staff member.
I knew it. The missing piece of evidence. The surveillance video was here all along. Good thing they rewinded to the exact moment they needed.
Well, I mean, Bad literally told them the time.
Oh yeah, that's true.
This sound. What's the meaning of this?
It appears Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder.
Do you mean that you figured it all out, then?
Yes, all I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from.
Fine, in that case, show me what you've deduced, even though it's super fucking obvious by now.
Now to show
Good
what
God.
the gunshot Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. I wouldn't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking repetition and dialogue.
It's like...
Is this spot somehow connected to the evidence I hold? This piece of evidence will clear away the last remaining contradiction in this case.
Miles, I believe that piece may actually be proof of a different life of sorts. Proof today will be your last day as a prosecutor. I hate this shit when it's so obvious, but the puzzle is how they want you to present it to them.
I need to calm down and think it through once more. This today, Miles Edgeworth, will be the last day of your life. Pulls out a gun. Earlier when Detective Gumshoe touched this, it made a most terrible racket.
You mean when Scruffy turned the television on, right?
Actually, come to think of it, I don't think Detective Gumshoe actually touched the television at all. Furthermore, it seemed more like when a video feed suddenly stops. At least it did to me.
I wonder why that is.
So
Someone left this video on play the whole time, huh?
I suppose so. Other than the killing, there's hardly a sound on the rest of the tape.
Why did the television make that loud noise when Scruffy got near it?
That's probably because the tape had run out and stopped its playback.
It's not just bad luck. That detective has the worst timing in the world, too.
Someone purposefully left this video on play. The question is why.
You have to deduce that that's like the handgun?
I guess I have to deduce the player?
Like, you have to deduce the player's the handgun, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe? Because, like, you know, because you have already, like, they're already saying, yeah, the video was played. They have to be like, what was played through here?
This piece of evidence.
This is actually, like, making my skin crawl, how annoying they set this up to be. They even they tell you, like, I have to tell them the sound came through the window or whatever, but, like, good God, I just want to look up a guide.
Oh, maybe I have to examine the window.
Maybe.
Implying that's the sound they heard. Well, let's try it.
But, like, Edgeworth already said, like, yes, the window is how they heard it.
Yeah, there you go.
I fucking hate this so much.
If the door and the window in the crime scene, namely this room they were in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser.
It was a good day to get a stress doll. That's
Yeah.
true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it
She was
were.
like stress Allie's hand. Just mangle
I
it.
don't want. I don't want to break it again.
However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu. All three of them heard the gunshot.
Well, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open, so naturally the people in those locations could hear it.
Ah, but then why would the criminal open the window in the first place?
To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose.
Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this.
But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction.
Very well, I believe the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of? The murder weapon, because...
When the crime took place.
Ah, that too. But also the murder weapon, if you think about it, because then you'd hear another gunshot.
No, because the crime took place earlier.
The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death with their precise wishes, and they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so.
So that's why the tape was left running. You mean, the gunshot I heard was from this video?
Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. Oh, and then they used like a remote from outside the window. That's clever. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who had no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. Honestly, they didn't even need the remote. Just had to leave the TV on. Except the TV turned off, so it's weird. That person's a real killer. Almost full health. Good enough.
Yeah.
Miss Edgeworth? Yes, what is it?
Monsieur was asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but she wants to clarify something. Looks like Miss Yu is...
Looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something.
Sorry, that's not my line.
Understood. Please take her... Please tell her I'll be right over.
I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say.
It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. Fucking
What a
finally.
weird time to pause. This is probably the last segment.
Assumably so, depending on how long this takes. I don't think Kay's going to take us through, like, Cyber World. Kay, what are you doing here?
I'm taking you to Cyberworld. Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating.
A cyber world? Ding, 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 ding. But the object you're looking for is already...
Okay. Don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it.
Off she runs. Detective Bad, have we already found what you were looking for?
If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought.
Okay, you don't really have to stand across from each other, but okay.
It's more cinematic, Miles Edgeworth. I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting for the moment in which I can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment in which you can finally lay this case to rest. Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Well, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why, even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end. No matter how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect wasn't in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe.
And that's all you have.
Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion in this case.
Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there's always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think?
Not really, but fine. Absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony.
My logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is.
Everyone, sans the suspect, has an alibi for when the gun went off.
Sans is a suspect? Yeah.
I can't believe I took like the most willpower I have ever put into anything to not comment on like that, and instead of being rewarded, you just took the fall for me.
Yeah, that's right. I take the fall for others. That's right.
Because that is like the funniest fucking line in the entire game to rib on. Like I should get some credit, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm perfect and great and amazing. Thank you.
Sans! Why are you a suspect? Yeah, I did it.
Furthermore, the areas around the crime. Sorry, I'm just thinking about the Sans line. Have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there's no possible escape route for Levy number 2. Which leaves us with an unshakable conclusion that Detective Gumshoe was the killer.
I really wish I didn't comment on it now. I think that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Just like super comments like, what the fuck? Neither of you said that? Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth.
Actually, what you should have done is, furthermore, Sans! The suspect. And just like continue like that. Just shout it.
I considered it. I considered that.
But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head on now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump card she has up her sleeve. You want to know what the funniest part is? Since that's part of her argument,
Alright.
I can press that.
Oh god.
The suspect, but I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi had already been proven.
Are you joking, Edgeworth?
I assure you this is no joke.
Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier. The detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll.
Yes, that is correct.
But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking.
I see she's done her research well, which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding. Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide.
This crunch eyebrows and lines in your forehead are packed. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, it makes him the only possible suspect.
But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden?
It's the first place everyone looked, silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked at every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden.
Suppose they really did check everything they could to be relevant to the case. Are you absolutely positive there's no possible route to escape?
Of course I'm sure. You'd need to be able to jump in the TV to get out.
Why are you so certain?
This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there were an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future.
Her hitboxes are unstable.
Yeah.
You may think it's unshakable to me, but there are still a few unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand?
You're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. Found the right-handed person.
Yeah, right? Fucking right-hand elitist over here. Unbelievable.
God, you people actually worry about that type of thing?
I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. See, Edgeworth agrees with me. I suppose we finally reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. Before I do, I think I should inquire into a little more about her argument. You said earlier that you would confirm the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject.
But there are witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi.
I see.
As for the little missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess. Ugh. And was stopped by a security guard at the door of the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard.
Yeesh.
I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma. And I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else.
Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor. By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned on guard duty? Nice Discord crash.
It didn't.
Oh, it didn't?
Well, maybe it did for you.
Yeah, okay, maybe it didn't. Okay. That's weird. It hasn't done the call crash thing yet.
What about them?
Have you looked into what people were going to be doing during that span of time? Or what they were
kind
doing?
of idiot do you take me for?
Someone who checks all the people in the room and doesn't immediately talk to Von Karma, therefore never getting to talk to any of those fun characters, including the guy
Yeah,
who
you'd
was
have to
kicking
be
the
a
water fountain.
fucking dumbass piece of shit asshole. It doesn't.
You have to be a bitch who
doesn't
advances the
much.
lines.
It doesn't matter when the killer went to lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, let's talk about that when you and Detective Bad heard the gunshots, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, that Detective Bad is the only one, or Detective Gumshoe is the only one, oops. However, what if the
Hopefully,
crime had
boy.
occurred at an entirely different time than when the gumshot you heard went off? What then? Okay, if Gumshoe does turn out to be the killer, we have to call his gunshot the gumshot.
Yeah, alright.
It's a promise. That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate.
Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth.
Thanks for the tech skip.
The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated?
Oh,
The
that's
old
easy.
Oh, they don't know. It's the key.
That tape?
Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell and the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2 that was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up.
You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video.
Ah, but I do, which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when everyone had heard the gunshot.
Yeah.
She doesn't really freak out as much as other people do. She just kind of does her makeup.
Yeah, there are a fair bit of people who just don't freak out at all until the very end. And it's the only thing I could think of, too.
After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. Played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Objection.
Sounds from a television
Don't mean much.
doesn't amount to much. Don't. Jeez. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles?
Yes, of course. You know about the soundproof quality of the courthouse's rooms. Fancy dialogue, Ross. Of course, I'm not about to admit that we had no idea about that only until a little while ago. Cough, cough.
That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot as clear as day.
And?
And that's it. End of story.
But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? The door was open. There was a hole in the wall. This is like extra stupid. You know, I kind of want to see what these dialogue options are.
It's just alright.
The door was open. The door to lobby number 1 was open.
love to make me laugh, don't you? Sorry, but the door to lobby number 1 where Mr. Bat and I were closed tight. Is that right, Mr. Bat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Edward, what the fuck are you
What?
doing? We
I was
literally
mistaken?
just talked about this. Miles, Edward, you've sullied the name of Von Karma. That logic just now was unforgivably bad.
I need to carefully think through this one more time. There was a hole in the wall.
Miles, I don't think that such a hole exists. Because if it did, I think the two of them would have noticed the crime going on next door. That's exactly right. Besides, if there's a hole to be found, it's probably in your logic. I was just thinking the exact same thing.
Whose side are you on, Francisca? Okay. Anyway. They're just like extra stupid. Sometimes I look. Anyway, the window was open. The door was open.
There's actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2, and that is, despite the fact that both rooms have air conditionings installed, a window was open in each. Now we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened. Objection. You know what I just noticed? The camera panning angle is from the witness stand now. They're trying to fuck with me.
It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the same time.
It was no mere coincidence, I assure you that.
It's because they want your character to be on the left.
Why was the window open in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be opened. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. It's like that idea, how you can tell if a character is good or evil depending on how they walk into a scene. It's like a common trope. They walk in from the left, then they're bad. If they walk in from the right, then they're good. And a really good example of this is in the opening to Spice and Wolf.
Yeah.
They have one character who walks to the left while most of the other characters walk to the right.
Well, if they walk towards the left, they're bad, or from
If
the
they
left,
walk left in the intro,
okay.
essentially.
Alright, I mean, it's
The real
Callisto.
killer in this double murder is... I think it's her.
It's Callisto, you.
Miss Callisto Yu. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell.
What? You indict me?
Ah, shit, you missed a spot.
Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer?
I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious. Because she's the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now?
Of course I do, Edgeworth.
My argument must not have been made tight enough yet.
Although I never thought things would spiral into this. Well, have you know, I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right?
Her rebuttal. Fuck you. Am I supposed to present that? Or press that? Yes, Edgeworth.
Care to elaborate? Yes, fuck you. You argue that the window was opened, however, do you have proof it was I who did that? Yes. Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this.
You literally just did it to Gumshoe. Gumshoe is not a person.
And she's right, I'm not. Especially with
He, like,
logic.
takes
it's full
off
of
his
holes
mask and
in
he's
it.
like some demon.
Oh, God. Yeah, he's like Yantaro or whatever the fuck is called from Dual Destinies.
Yeah. Especially with logic. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. Evidence. All I need to do is have some prints analyzed and we'll know straight away.
Be my guest.
She sounds as though she has the room to maneuver. Which means, even if we were able to lift prints, they'd only show that it was someone else, but... Why is that someone else who was forced to open the window? That's simple logic. When I try presenting that piece of evidence, I have nothing to lose.
What's wrong? The scrunched eyebrows lined to your forehead, they're all back. More importantly, are you gonna be okay not running a fingerprint analysis?
Yes, I'll be fine.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, alright? Yeah, so it's just because the perfume.
I thought I just proved it was.
Sure, you proved that the tape was there at the scene of the crime. However, that doesn't prove it was actually used in said crime.
Unfortunately for you, Miss Yu, the fact that the tape was used there at the crime scene is itself very important.
How so?
By the very existence of that tape at the crime scene, it proves that the possibility of when the crime could have been fabricated, and that possibility alone renders all alibis and witness testimony and report irrelevant. Basically, it means that we will need to re-examine every person's movements again. Whether the tape was used in the crime or not, that we can re-evaluate afterwards.
So in conclusion, you're admitting that you can't prove that it was at this point. Perfume.
Yes. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu?
Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know? Wow.
Why couldn't this be mine?
That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see.
Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That this bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you.
Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume?
While you were in defendant lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad.
Oh, I know.
You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window. Objection.
Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control, and the most important fact about the case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time.
You mean?
Miss Yu, you were the one who called Detective Bad in the lobby number 1, when you saw him bringing Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought up by you, Miss Yu.
You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday.
Would you care to testify as to why?
Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless.
Yes, but no matter what sort of trickery she may try to pull, she won't escape from me.
And if I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her. Perhaps. At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday has taken from his evidence bag.
Miles, what do you think you're doing?
I'm drawing the truth out of her, that's what I'm doing.
Huh? I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today.
Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use.
So that's what you're trying to do? Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yata-lock had sent. And unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest.
Huh. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to the testimony.
I'm in danger. Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you'd like.
Could I get that in writing? Huh. This isn't a red flag. God, she's dumb. You can kill someone with a keyblade. I love how it's literally a keyblade. Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me.
This is a picture of the key the Yata-lock sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it, in fact, has the secret ability to transform into a knife, which means that it was used inside Mr. Faraday's bag. It was both the Yata-lock's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not?
Yes.
Well, with the Yata-lock's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yata-lock key.
I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know.
You would even now still feign ignorance.
I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence, now can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa?
Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real.
Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing?
Are you satisfied now? But of course you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that this knife and the Yata-lock key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this trick,
Would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, there's something that the Yata-lock sent to the police. How did you have knowledge about what it was?
Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms.
What are you saying is simply not possible.
Oh, and why not?
Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden key within the key. Knife within the key. For within these pages, he mentioned nothing about a knife.
I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know? Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication?
Unfortunately, that is also impossible, because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. Would have been highly classified information even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. How would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition?
Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh?
How can you laugh at a time like this?
She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with.
I suppose you're right. Miss Yu? I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of this knife.
Do you know? Why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me?
Oh, I will, and I will wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment, the truth, the secret behind the Yata-lock key. Only one person would have the knowledge to show it from the get-go, who would know from the start that the Yata-lock key could change into a knife. That would be this person.
Thanks for the best laugh I've had all day. Now, are we ready to call it a day yet?
Well, wait a second. I was mistaken. The moment of truth, the secret behind the Yata-lock key.
The Yata-lock.
Yeah. It was him.
There's a profile for the Yata-lock, I think.
Yeah. There's only one person who would have known about the dual nature of this key.
And that is...
I still think it should have been K, but you know.
Well, but you don't know if she has any relation to the Yata-lock right now.
Yeah, that's true. And that is the person who sent the Yata-lock key to the police. That is to say, the Yata-lock herself.
Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yata-lock?
Miss Yu, you used Mr. Rell to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You who profess to bear a grudge against criminals, why? Why do something like this? Her mic cut it right there. That's when Discord's gonna crash, huh? Good one. You laughed so hard you killed Discord.
Yeah, I guess so.
You also killed me, apparently.
Oh, nice. Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. It's feeling thrilled. It's even greater than I sneak into someplace. You killed Faraday. Why? Answer me, Callisto, you. Callisto, you. Huh? That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief Yata-lock. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity. Which is why I had to erase him from the world of law.
I had to erase him.
I made Rel an offer, an acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yata-lock in court. But once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. So I had no choice to kill them both.
But didn't you say that you despised criminals?
But do I really? Have you forgotten about the KG-8 incident, too? Maybe. What sort of woman would...
So then it was your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent?
Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yata-lock by using this Yata-lock's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. And in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. The chip bag. I was worried about the chip bag. He then let me hold the Yata-lock's key.
That's right.
Just like that.
Just like that.
He never noticed that I had changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death.
But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well.
I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness. And how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they'd killed each other.
And the trick with the surveillance tape.
Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. Which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene.
Literally Danganronpa 1, case 3.
And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet.
Yep, Danganronpa 1, case 3.
You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client?
Client? If you want to talk about who was a client of who's first, it was me. I was a client in the murder of the Kodopian embassy staff member, Dade Man. You ordered a hidden job? You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Dade Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the ring.
How could this...
You don't mean you're working with Manny Cochin too, do you? Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. The Yata-lock who claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. Yata-lock is just another killer. Be quiet, you.
Now would be a great time to actually pull out your gun.
Yata-lock. You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court with my finger gun.
Ha ha ha. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know Yata-lock has 3 legs? You know why that is?
What?
No? Well, let me tell you.
Is it because you have a long...
It's because I am transgender. No.
That would be
It
a
means
twist.
it means that the Yata-lock has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. Hey, what do you know?
That face. And this is why she doesn't appear in any of the other games. I knew it. She's
This
gonna
game's
shoot
good.
Francisca. We were talking to Francisca's ghost in the second game.
Yeah.
And in the third game, Francisca's memory.
You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handled the Yata-lock's key right to me after that a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it.
You mean the key was your real target?
And even after I gave you such great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence. You too, get down! Ah!
My body, I can't move.
Hey, mister, to your right!
Dead.
You!
Are you alright, Francisca?
I'm perfectly fine, Miles.
Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go?
That's a gunshot. Oh no, not bad. Bad's so dead. Poor Gumshoe.
Probably.
He got all those bullet holes, but he couldn't dodge that one. Oh no, he's fine. He dodged it.
Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have perimeter set up soon.
Who the hell did she shoot? Or did Bad shoot her?
We'll find out.
Detective Bat, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. Ah, it was my balloon I had in my pocket.
I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket.
I may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. Oh, yeah, there it is. It was towards his
But more
arm.
importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you two hurt? I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also alright, thanks to Kay.
Speaking of Kay, where is she?
I don't know, she just sort of disappeared.
I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir. I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you are protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective.
Aww.
Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops.
I'm glad he doesn't show up in any of the other games. He clearly, like, his character arc is over. Clearly, this guy shouldn't come back for anything.
Even though it's the first, like, his earliest appearance. Pops, watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we?
Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. It's okay, we already do that. It's a Let's Player's job.
I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do.
Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care.
Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday.
He's fucking karate chopped Bad.
Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything.
Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison.
He's still sad.
I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. It was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective.
Oh, so long as you're not fired. You should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me.
She did? Oh, what is it?
What was it that Kay left for me? The proof of their friendship?
The handgun, the sweet roll.
The sweet roll. The handgun. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but are you sure it's okay for me to take it? Wait, that's not what I meant to give you. Please, return it at once.
Miles, you are really not that bright, are you?
Okay. It's the sweet roll. It's his fingerprint. It's like a pay stub. It's like pay up. Here's your Swiss roll.
It's the courthouse special Swiss roll. Can I really have it?
Yes, it's a present meant for you after all.
Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now.
Sure, go ahead. Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay brought along together. While the one Kay saved never reached her father, it would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective.
He's so happy, it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own.
Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him.
Whoa, that was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I've got to thank Kay myself. Wait, where is she?
You only just noticed now. Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him.
Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first... You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Retro Sir.
Please don't.
Oh, my monitor. I accidentally turned off my monitor. Hold on a second.
I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship with this ominous statement. But the picture is really good.
The picture's good, yeah. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa.
Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective.
Roger, sir. And don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well.
I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I've tried, but words failed to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. Good Lord, Edgeworth, you fucking asshole. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she is now...
So, do you remember now?
Yes, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while.
Kay, you sure grew up a lot. Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time? Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much. Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So, does it all make sense now? You betcha it does. Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and...
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay.
Huh?
First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yata-garasu? The Yata-garasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yata-garasu was my father.
Mr. Faraday
was the Yata-garasu. Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books.
So this is like a recent thing. She's like, whoa, he was the Yata-lock. I'm gonna become it now.
I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yata-lock. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure.
But that's impossible.
What's with that look? You don't believe me?
It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly showed it was impossible just now.
Alright then, how do you explain this?
The way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing.
Yep, that's the little thief. Truth be told, this is the Yata-lock's greatest secret. And this little gizmo is used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor, he was really a great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed. And the Yata-lock was no more. But despite that, the Yata-lock has been spotted again recently.
Someone other than you?
Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article.
The Yata-lock sent the embassy a calling card?
Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain. Like, Callisto U lady's behind this. Because the real Yata-lock would never send something like a gaudy card out.
But the Yata-lock did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up, and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so that I could obtain the truth behind the Yata-lock. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, what if Gumshoe takes like a bullet for Kay or something like that? What if that's how?
That'd be sad.
They just run into Callisto U again. She pulls out another gun.
And then Kay never gets to appear in a mainline title.
That's right. So you're saying that you have your father and Miss U's identities backwards? Wow, your
Yes.
finger's still enormous, Sedgeworth.
Because the real Yata-lock is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yata-lock. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace.
Okay.
Okay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal.
If you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be a complicit in it.
Mr. Edgeworth. You guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth.
Okay, I'll support him.
No, wait. What I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman.
That evil woman. You mean Callisto U?
I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me?
Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Huh? Owe me for what?
When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I'm not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
That you mean?
Yes. That case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Isn't that great, Kay? Yeah, it sure is, Gummy.
Even though we had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is with this chummy relationship? The great thief Yata-lock. After all that time, the true identities of the thief sank back into the darkness. Burn Faraday, Callisto U, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yata-lock. And Yata-lock's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. Alright, Tech Super be like, on in like 10 minutes. Boop.
Turnabout ablaze.
Yeah.
Is that an Emily campaign reference?
Yeah. Alright, well, as we always do, see the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
See what we're in for. Whoa. 2 cards. One of the Black Raven, and one of the White Raven. A country torn in 2. One to the west, and one to the east. And those which were split are made whole again. The truth will reveal itself.
Edgeworth committing arsony?
We don't know that the voice is tied to that.
It's the Yata-lock. The Yata-lock is here. You accursed Yata-lock! Kay, you...
God, the music fucking slaps, dude. I almost said it comes. I apologize in retrospect.
Speaking of coming, seeing Edgeworth sitting on that chair there, all lounge-like.
Can you just say speaking of coming?
Okay, we're done. We're done. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.